We're live.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. Welcome to a very special episode of Hafta 1. It's live, so we will all try to control a foul language. Anand Vardhan, please take note. It's live, so we can't cut like we usually have to cut all your cuss words and stuff. Anand is joining us straight from Bihar. He's landed. You came by train or by air?
No, train.
So he's gotten this morning, so he will give us the absolute latest from what he observed in Bihar. Also in the studio on this live special Bihar election edition of NL Hafta is Manisha Pande,
Hello.
our editorial director, Raman Sir, editor-in-chief.
Hello.
And I'm Abhinandan Sekhri. And joining us later in this show will be Sobhana K. Nair. She has been on the Hafta before. She has written a book on Ram Vilas Paswan and is also senior deputy editor with The Hindu. And she's reported extensively from Bihar. And veteran, one of the most, in my view, important and fair commentators, Neerja Chowdhury, will be joining us later in the show as well. And she's the author of How Prime Ministers Decide. So let's start with the headlines before we get to Bihar, shall we, Manisha?
Yes, it's been a very heavy news week for all of us here, so we should get to that. First, of course, the Bihar elections. After 5 hours of counting in Bihar, the NDA is leading in 190 seats, while the mahagathbandhan is ahead in 48 seats. According to the ECI data, the BJP leads in more than 80 seats, while the JDU is close behind at 76. The Congress, meanwhile, is trailing with leads in just 4 seats. In very tragic news, a blast near Delhi's Red Fort on 10th of November killed 13 people, injured over 20. Amit Shah confirmed the explosion occurred in a slowly moving Hyundai 120 near Gate 1 of Red Fort Metro Station. The government has termed the incident a terror attack, calling it a heinous attack by anti-national forces. We'll discuss this in fair amount of detail in the next Hafta episode.
Yeah.
A lot has happened. There's been police crackdowns. There's a terror module that's been busted. So we should have a guest to talk about this.
Yeah, we'll have a guest talk about it. But since today's Bihar election, we will focus today's Hafta only on Bihar election. But yes, next episode, definitely we'll go in depth into this.
Yeah. Supreme Court on Tuesday acquitted Surendra Kohli in the last pending rape and murder case linked to 2005-2006 Nithari killings in Noida.
This was, I mean, I don't know how many of you remember this case. It dominated headlines.
Yeah.
There was his employer, Pandey, from Punjab.
He was also acquitted.
And I mean, if this does not completely make the CBI the most useless organization, they should really have that at the banner outside. I don't know what does.
It was really the case of that time. I mean, it was wall to wall. I
The
think
case of
Ayushi
the
murder
decade.
case and this case
Case of the
was.
decade.
Yeah.
The Commission for Air Quality Management enforced stage 3 restrictions under the Graded Response Action Plan after air quality in Delhi deteriorated to severe levels. So small mercies, children can now attend school online. Rest of us must get to office and breathe shit air.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the football nationals that will happen because Prime Minister Modi.
Where is it happening?
They'll happen. What month are we in? We're in November.
In Delhi?
It'll happen next year. It'll happen next year. I mean, these small district tournaments, state tournaments keep happening.
I'm sure, actually, yeah. Meanwhile, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat said the organization is recognized as a body of individuals and does not require formal registration, just like Hindu Dharma is not registered. This was speaking at an event in Bengaluru, marking 100 years of RSS. Bhagwat also said that RSS was founded in 1925. Do you expect us to have registered with the British government? As the results are coming out, there's one important news. The Digital Personal Data Protection Act has been notified after 2 years and the RTI Act has been amended. So maybe we can discuss this also next week.
Yeah, we should discuss this because I haven't read what has been notified, but there were a few clauses that were very problematic, which I don't know whether they've been retained or not. We'll see.
Kerala has formally informed the union government that it is pausing the implementation of the PM Shri scheme until a cabinet subcommittee reviews the agreement. And the state cabinet froze the rollout after CPI criticized the government for joining the scheme without consulting the cabinet of the alliance. A Delhi court overturned a lower court's order directing police to file an FIR against BJP leader and Delhi Minister Kapil Mishra for his alleged role in February 2020 violence. Supreme Court has asked the Election Commission to respond within 2 weeks to petitions challenging the revision of voter rolls in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. Donald Trump is currently embroiled in a major row with the BBC, threatening legal action, demanding $1 billion in damages over an edited segment of his speech that aired in a BBC Panorama documentary. So
So,
BBC in a lot of
yeah.
shit this week.
So basically, there were two resignations as well. The Director General Tim Davie resigned, and Deborah Turnus, she's the head of news. They both had to resign. Of course, they've refused to give him $1 billion, but of course, Trump turns every opportunity. But on the other two headlines before this, Manisha just wanted to say that we will discuss in some detail. One is Kapil Mishra, High Court strike overturning lower court's order, asking police to file an FIR against this man who's now a minister. And also, like Manisha observed, all the Bahubalis across parties in Bihar have won. I mean, one can keep remaining optimistic, but I don't think our public, our institutions, or even leaders, because leaders set the narrative, give a shit about whether you're a criminal, whether you have criminal record, whether you have criminal antecedents. It just doesn't matter. I think we are not, the Civil War Africa level, but as far as our acceptance of such characters is concerned, we are not that far actually. We can't flatter ourselves. But I mean, I don't see. So you've been around longer than I have, but in 1995, it was the same issues. Oh my God, this guy's a Don Shahabuddin. Who was it? Shahabuddin tha? Taslimuddin tha?
Shahabuddin.
नहीं not Taslimuddin ही था ना एक. What was?
Taslimuddin was in Kishanganj.
हाँ, Taslimuddin. Asian Age headline आया था. पता नहीं. He had to resign. There was more shame of Taslimuddin having to resign at that time because everyone went at him than there is today. So we haven't moved forward, we've moved backwards, in my view.
I think over a period of time, I have seen that the role of Bahubalis in the national politics is reducing. But at assembly level, I mean, they still rule. In national politics, if somebody is very rich, maybe he or she will be. I mean, of course, Bahubali mostly he.
They have vibes of Bahubalis.
And no, in fact, when I was working in UP, I had seen some women Bahubalis also. But so I think that national it is reducing day by day. But yes, in assembly politics, in state politics, Bahubalis are still powerful. They are the backbones of their respective parties. So yes, so
they're also local.
Locally also,
They're local courts
intimidation
in some ways.
Intimidation works at at small levels in assembly politics. That's what I feel.
No, I think the role of Bahubalis has reduced. In fact, it's very marginal in Bihar politics now, and some of the remnants are very much relying on a state patronage to keep their political career afloat. And the people who visit these states from Delhi or other places during election tours, and they sidetrack, they get sidetracked with these things. I think only three major Bahubalis are in contest. One is Ritlal Yadav from Danapur, and one is who himself is not a Bahubali, but he is a descendant of a former and now deceased Bahubali Shahabuddin, and one is Anand Singh, and the other person fighting against him is wife of Bahubali, Suraj Bhan Singh. So what has happened is that, like Suraj Bhan, he has not now say diverted his activities into say contract business and not the kind of criminal activities that he indulged in earlier. Also, when Nitish came in 2005, he had he had to somehow co-opt some of the Bahubalis, not all. And once a person who was his classmate in engineering college told me that when Nitish went to some Bahubalis, and he said that I don't want to co-opt them into my government or give them tickets. But in 2000, when he needed them, there was a 7-day government, Nitish government.
Mm.
Then he said that 2-3 Bahubalis may try to extend support to you. And his exact words was that, will I need to meet them? Then he said, of course, otherwise their ego would not be massaged. So he said, then he said that the gur khaye to gulgulle se kya parhej. No, it is not Africa level or this level. That is a very wrong analogy. In fact, the role of Bahubalis is very, very limited in the current civil society of Bihar.
So it's not just, I'm not talking about, like, if you like narrow it down to Bahubali, which again is a vague definition. Like Kapil Mishra is by no stretch of imagination Bahubali. He's a bit of a buffoon, if you remember how he fainted. So one can, redefine that word as you want. But people with criminal records, serious and credible criminal accusations, have no problem in getting tickets, getting elected, and being made ministers. One thing is that out of political compulsion, I gave him a ticket so he could win. But once you have 50 people who won, who you make a minister determines what you incentivize. So I'm not talking about Bahubalis, I'm talking about criminals, which also include Bahubalis or alleged criminals. In that sense, I don't think there is any compunction or embarrassment by political leaders in our country to reward such people. And that, I think, is as bad as any other country which has the worst record in maintaining basic social decorum of what kind of people you pick to lead departments.
This can only happen if there is a law to, ban such people to contest. Since there is no law.
No, that is hard. So how can you, because unless someone has been convicted by court, you can't ban someone from.
No, but then I don't expect parties to have such a moral high stand to,
But one has to expect that. But and just one thing before we get deep into Bihar, and then, I'll hand over to Manisha because you're on the talk back and you have the data coming in. You can just give our audience the latest data. The second thing I just want to, which we'll talk in more detail, is for the first time in my living memory, has a terrorist attack been followed by news commentary, not of intelligence failure, but what an amazing intelligence success that only 13 people died. I'm blown away that this is normal, including editorials. That's going to be one of my recommendations. I don't remember ever, and whether it was Sarojini Nagar blast, whether it was, the parliament, I don't remember the news narrative ever being, what a great job our intelligence agencies have done. They have prevented deaths, could have been in hundreds. I mean, we are in a complete loony zone. So yeah, these are my two observations. Now we can go to Bihar election. Manisha, what's the latest? And then.
So I have data from the Election Commission website. So which is why I'm not going to say wins, loses. These are leads, but these are very solidified leads now. Where it's 114. So should be pretty sorted by now. NDA is leading in 198 seats. Mahagathbandhan in 39. And if you look at the breakup, then BJP is leading in 90 seats. JDU is leading in 81 seats. I think the story of the moment is JDU, really, because if these leads confirm into wins, then 81 is a very good, almost 30 seats more than last time. LJP is leading in 20 seats. Again, really spectacular. Can't even say comeback. It's like a spectacular victory for them because the last time they were one seat, right? MGB, RJD is at 28. They're leading in 28 seats. INC in 5 seats. And Jan Swaraj is not leading anywhere right now. And Ameem is leading in 5 seats. So those are the latest that we have.
That's not bad considering they hardly got any airtime.
Yeah, and a lot of people had written them off in the run-up to elections, but it seems like at least 1 seat from what it seems they may.
So is that more than the Congress?
Yeah, now.
1 seat CPIML is also leading, I think.
Yeah.
In the Sahpur zone. Sahpur zone. 1 CPIML from left is also leading somewhere.
Sorry, before we came to Anand on, just giving us his view on these results, is Tejasvi is still trailing?
No, he's leading
Oh,
right now.
He was trailing, right?
Yeah,
From
he
his
was
home.
trailing, but it's a very narrow. He's at 31,654, and the BJP candidate Satish Kumar is at 31,069. So
Oh,
it's very
just
close.
600 votes.
Yeah, just 600 votes.
Is that a big thing if he loses, Anand? It's like
There
spectacular.
was a
It's
lot
like,
of
it's like Sheila Dikshit losing or Arvind Kejriwal losing, or not that big?
no, it's not big. In fact, Lalu Prasad Yadav at the height of his popularity lost a very Yadav stronghold in Madhepura, for which it is called that Room mein Pope and Madhepura mein Gop. Gop means Yadav. So Yadav. So he lost there, and in fact, Rabri Devi, when she went to campaign in Raghopur, she faced a lot of very angry voters who were complaining that you people don't come. It's your means kind of hereditary kind of seat, because that family has won a number of elections from that seat.
And always the family members contest.
Generally, it's the demography is such that it is considered a very safe seat for Yadavs.
So it's not unprecedented for.
It's not. It means what I mean to say that members from the Lalu family have in the past also lost from Yadav strongholds.
I see. Okay. Anything else that is an outlier, Manisha?
No, that's what we're getting so far. Yeah, seems pretty much an NDA victory at 198.
Unprecedented.
Yeah,
Not unprecedented. In 2010, I think ND had got 206.
And that time NDA consisted of?
JDU and BJP.
There was no Paswan then?
No, not Paswan was, I think, then in UPA.
I see.
So, if memories, yes, he was in.
So I think the other, of course, we'll have Miss Nair joining us later, and Neerja as well. But Paswan, doing so well is quite, a credit to him, because not so many people were taking him seriously as a politician, after his father's passing.
20 seats out of 28 is pretty good, yeah.
75% strike rate.
Yeah.
So what happened is that Bihar is a different kind of Dalit politics, which is not on the lines of UP Ambedkarite kind of Dalit politics, but it's the Dalit population which is considered his stronghold is around 20% in Bihar, and out of which his subcaste within the Dalit cluster is around 5% Dusads, Paswans. So, and the rest of the 15% is not his, say, stronghold. In 2005, Nitish, what he did, that he created this Mahadalit out of the non-Dusad community, non-Paswan community. So he lost his hold of the rest of the Dalit community, because Nitish gave this layered kind of definition to it, that all the rest subcaste within Dalit. So that's why you see in 2005 Ramvilas Paswan's leadership under the maximum that the newly created LJP hit in 2005 was 29, and he had become the kingmaker, and he couldn't decide, and that was the reason that Bihar had to go for polls again in the same year. Now that's why that was one of the regions between lot of regions for the lot of animosity and a kind of say understated tension between Paswan and Nitish. But lately he has realized that to recover even that ground, he has to ride on the popularity of Nitish Kumar. And he has made peace with that, and those results are showing.
So right now, at least one of the channels is showing left, which is, I guess, this collective for I don't know how many parties they're including, but it says 9. That's more than the Congress. That's way more than the Congress. Yeah.
Yes, in last election they had 16. In 2020, the all left parties combined in Bihar had done reasonably well. They had 16 seats, and particularly in this Shahpur-Bhojpur belt. This
CPI-ML 12, that one, no? 2020.
no 16, I think.
Okay.
CPI. There are three.
CPI and CPI.
ML.
So both
So
combined. The
ML
left
12,
had
CPI-M2, CPI-2.
left as a whole had 116 seats.
Yeah.
So right now ML is at 6 and so is the Congress. So they joined in sheer numbers. So Manisha, what did your reporters have to say? Basant is
So,
still there, right?
Basant is still there.
Oh, sorry,
because-
before we say Basant is still there.
Yeah.
And our election coverage was not powered by any ads, whether it was Sarkari ads or political party ads. It was powered by subscribers because, as you know, Newslaundry does not take ads of any type. So here's a QR code. You can scan it and pay to keep news free, because our journalism, and we believe all journalism, should be public supported, because if you leave it to political parties, governments, and billionaires, it is highly unlikely that you will get public interest journalism. You will get government interest and corporate interest journalism. So do your bit, contribute to journalism the way Bapu had considered it should be funded, not by the ads of industrialists, by general people. So we have, I guess right now, over about 20,000, 22,000 active subscribers. Let's hit 50,000. Scan it, tell your friends, family, etc. Pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers served. Yes, Manisha, over to you.
So Basant was at the JDU office at 10 o'clock, and I really like, he asked this one of the workers that abhi to, it was 10:30. So he said, abhi to ye rujhan hi hai. So he said, नहीं, लेकिन जब हम देगची में चावल बनाते हैं तो 2 दाना देख के पता चल जाता है चावल पका या नहीं. So आप रुझान की फिक्र मत करिए. This is why Bihar, I think, is a favorite for so many reporters, because you can always get a good soundbite. And I really like this piece that Roshan Kishore had written in the run-up, that it may have nothing but has words. So anyway, he was there. Then he went to Tejasvi was trailing, so he was also at the RJD office. He's going to be there giving us live updates, and he'll be on Charcha also.
Right.
Where
So
he
there'll be
gave us
Charcha will be live today as well.
In the
right?
run-up to 2 haftas we've done on Bihar, we had Vasu, we had Sobhana, and both of them had actually told us pretty much what the results are showing
Right.
with respect to Nitish. From 81 seats, from 43 seats in 2020, they're leading at 81 right now. So that's almost doubled. And what Vasu had said, that, you know, for the alliance, the big problem is Congress. And I think that's showing up in the results. And Shobhana, I think one sense that we were getting from all our reporters, that even if, you know, there was talk of anti-incumbency or not, regardless of that, there was this sense of going with the known. That even if people weren't enthusiastically excited about everything that's happened in the last 10 years, there were 2 factors in their mind. One, the fear of Jungle Raj coming back, and Tejasvi in that sense has really had to fight that. The whole election has been under the shadow of Lalu's Jungle Raj, and all conversations have been around that. But for Nitish, I think this whole thing of somebody gave us decent governance, a known person, and a sense of going with, you know, what is stable rather than upsetting things too much, is what seems to have played out. But then again, I think if they've doubled it, then clearly there's something more happening there than just a sense of going with the known. But I think that's, for his last election, I'm guessing this will be Nitish's last election. It's quite a send-off.
I don't know. They were saying Ronaldo's last World Cup. They've been saying that for so long. Now he's
At
threatening to.
41.
I don't know.
He's threatening to play the next one also.
What would be interesting for me to see, and I'm keen to know from Anand also, because he's written quite a bit on Nitish, but clearly JDU's comeback is something, but it would be sad if the party's second line in the next 4 years doesn't come up, because Nitish, I think this will be his last election. But for a party that's not down and out, that's pretty much, you know, come out of the election with these numbers, despite all the things about, you know, health and anti-incumbency, there has to be a second line, which you haven't really seen.
Okay. So before I comment on this, I would like to maybe in some other segment like to comment on the media coverage of Bihar polls, and maybe before after we discuss the election results. Roshan Kishore's take that Bihar has only words and nothing.
No, he didn't say only.
That is
He said it
also
may not have
problematic.
much, but it does have words. To be fair to him.
Also, anyway, that's
He's also from Bihar, so
I have some. There is also a kind of Bihari who goes with the Delhi consensus. So
We must. I just want to add here that
So,
Shobna may join us in the next 5 minutes. She's here. So
Okay, fine.
after Anand, we should just go to her.
All right.
No,
yes,
you wanted to come in
on what?
on
Nitish.
Nitish.
Yes. See, I think in the last hafta I had uh, dwelled on what's the place of Nitish in Bihar's contemporary political history, and from say not going to a long historical arc, he's uh, say when social democracy and governance and development were put as two separate things in Bihar's political narrative. His achievement is that he said that social democracy, empowerment of backward castes, uh, can go with governance also, can go with development also. So it's not that uh, only विकास नहीं सम्मान चाहिए. He says विकास भी हो सकता है, सम्मान भी हो सकता है. So that is one thing. So social democracy was not juxtaposed with governance. Second thing is that like people speculate that why his switches are condoned by the public, because I think because of his credibility of governance, track record, and delivery of, and he's a kind of politician who knows how to divide time between administration and pragmatic politics. So administrative acumen and pragmatic real politic like manipulations and this that. So I think shrewd administrative mindset plus say political acumen has delivered dividends for him. Also, he is the maximizer of the space that he has of the EBC, and that EBC of 36% votes, which solidly stands behind him, uh, gives him the confidence that he can add that to either of the combinations of the BJP or RJD, and mm, be acceptable to either of the combinations and formations that are there. And that 36% also includes some minority votes, because in the layered representation system, there are pasmandas and some Muslim, say, EBC groups, which also vote for him. So when we say that 17%, when RJD starts with 31%, 14% Yadavs, and say 17% Muslims, but uh, first, why some cephalogists go wrong also is that 14% and 17% is not concentrated in one area which will deliver you these seats and these seats. So like Simanchal has a large concentration of Muslim population, but it can deliver only a fixed number of
Seats.
assembly seats. And now among those Muslims also, there are some caste groups, Pasmandas, and like Ali Anwar, who led that movement of Pasmanda from Bihar only, who align with JDU. Maybe only 2-3% Muslims, but they see him. That's why they get antagonized when he sides with BJP.
But you know what you were saying, someone just pointed out that while the drop in the vote share of the RJD has been not very significant, I think it's less than 5% as of now. I mean, I don't know how it turns out. The drop in seats has been dramatic.
Yeah.
So, how to contest election on that marginal voter is something that the BJP JDU combined has really mastered, because it is a huge difference in the vote share drop and the seat drop.
What about Congress?
What happens is that means there are
I'll just check.
a lot of explanations for that. That if you consolidate 31% of, say, Muslim Yadavs MOI plus a few, like this time Mahagathbandhan tried to, like, some, say, Mallah votes from the EBC and some Nonias, and so bin the K votes. So and this EBC is of 112 caste groups, and uh, mm, a lot of them have one less than 1% represent means population. So it's very difficult to say that which the swing means if the largest population share is 2%. So once you breach demographic say this distribution, and you have a cross a bit of support in different caste groups, you are seeing this kind of result because it has breached the demographic barriers because of some say appeal, some kind of welfare measures, or a kind of wave you can say. So it has breached that demographic barrier, and that's why the results are far beyond what psephologists predicted. Once you get past 150, you can achieve anything. So,
Well, right now it seems like doso par for NDA, but Shobna is with us, so we should
Hi,
welcome her.
Shobna. Sorry, to answer your question, as of now, it says about 6.1%
Congress's
of the
vote
total
share,
vote share.
6.1%.
So, which is also in line with the number of seats that they have. But welcome, Shobna. We cannot hear Shobna, so we'll just figure the audio for that.
Hi, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Hi,
Yes,
how are you?
I can hear you. Yes, you were on mute. Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you. So, well, I guess it's pretty accurate as per is your what you had speculated when you were on Hafta last, but
Yeah. Thank
by
God
a
I
huge
didn't
margin.
speculate on numbers, seats.
Sorry?
Thank God. Thank God I stopped short of talking about the seats and just
Right.
direction.
So, as Manisha says, it's probably going to cross 200. Is that right? Is that what you
I
said?
mean, the leads
We're
right
at
now is at 200.
199. So, did you make any trip back to Bihar after we spoke a week before last, or have you been here since then?
No, I haven't
Okay.
been there. Yeah.
So, based on what you have been observing and your past experience, of course, I mean, the son of the person on who you wrote the book has performed remarkably well. It would have
Yes.
been a mistake to write him off as not being very politically smart when his father passed. But what do you think his spectacular success comes from? How many seats does he have as of now?
21.
21.
21.
Mm.
See, let's talk basics first. He got 29 seats, out of which 27 of the 29 seats were with the Mahagathbandhan in 2020. So he was basically given the seats which were not with either the BJP or JDU, barring two. One is Parbatta and Govindganj. Barring these two, all the seats were with the MJP. And out of the 21 seats that he is leading on, 13 are were held by RJD in 2020. So he's actually sort of contributing to this close to 200 seat tally
Mm.
of the NDA. Second, LJP, since its very beginning, the only time they have sort of reached anywhere close to this number was in the election that Anand just mentioned, February of 2005, when Ramvilas Paswan did not make up his mind. He did not join any. He insisted that he will stay alone, and he came up with various theories that he will have a Muslim chief minister, or he will stay. He doesn't want either RJD or the other side
Mm.
government, and that was when they won 29 seats. So this is, in fact, during the negotiations, LJP, Ramvilas wanted more seats, but when BJP offered them 29, I was told that they agreed for 29 because they felt there is some emotional connect to the figure 29, because that was the highest tally they've ever had in Bihar Assembly. So those are the basics. And the other one basic thing is that it is, for me, the results are very interesting because this is the first time JDU and LJP are fighting the assembly elections together. They haven't ever fought it on the same side. And as Anand was just talking about how Nitish Kumar had sort of taken Paswans outside of, had put Paswans outside the Mahadalit circle. So
Mm.
there was a lot of anger against uh, Nitish Paswan's, and that is why, for a minute, Chirag Paswan was also mulling on contesting the assembly election. And as I had said in the last hafta, for reasons better known to him, he decided not to contest. But my suspicion is that he was told by the BJP that to ensure that there is no confusion within the alliance, the way and there's no repeat of 2020, he should stay away, because already this is, if you remember, there were questions being raised on whether Nitish Kumar will continue in the chief minister's position or not. So had Chirag Paswan also contested, then that would have created another poll and would have had it added to the confusion, and probably the results would have been slightly different, and not good for the NDA. So I guess they worked hard to remove all sorts of confusion and all sorts of problems. So that is
So,
one.
so just quickly, you have any views, and has PK said anything since the Jan Swaraj party? I was trying to find if we have any data on their vote share, which we don't right now.
Yeah,
I'll
right now
continue to
there's
look.
none. No.
But is it a surprise that he didn't even get one seat,
No,
or
not at all.
has he even impacted any seat? Is there any scientific and credible way of knowing this? I mean, speculation is also fine; it's entertaining. But is there any scientific way of actually knowing? Honestly, speculation is also entertaining. What the hell? But can we know that has he impacted or dented any seats? Shobna
I am
first, and
not
then I'll
sure.
ask Anand.
Yeah, it is not a surprise to me that Jan Swaraj did not get even a single seat. I expected these results for Jan Swaraj. As I had said earlier, also there was a lot of disinterest in Jan Swaraj in the rural reaches of Bihar. There was a lot of distrust also. There was questions being asked that where is he getting so much money to put up such a big campaign, because his yellow vans were crisscrossing the state. So obviously people know that it costs money, and there were questions being, the electorate was asking questions. I'm not talking about the various political leaders or outfits. And there was distress, there was indifference to him. The candidates were not familiar. In many places they did not even recognize the symbol, Jan Swaraj symbol. Now, these are the parameters which one must always look to see how popular or how far the party has reached. So they would scratch their heads for a very long time and say, हाँ पता नहीं, शायद स्कूल का बसता है, शायद ऐसा कुछ है, और third or fourth person will say. So obviously, at least in the rural areas, it did not carry the same recognition and same weight. Of course, in urban areas, there was some interest around Jan Swaraj, especially among those people who wanted an option, who were looking for an option, and RJD was not an option for them. But I am not sure. I think it is too early to say that
Whether he
if
impacted any seats.
yeah,
But
yeah.
before we come to Anand, I would just like to say whether he wins or not, and I'm not being facetious, I mean this genuinely. I think he is doing a great service to the nation by charging exorbitant fees to political parties as a consultant, and then spending it on printers, chai ki dukan, whatever. We have read it.
Redistribution.
It's like bad business ideas in 1999, 2000. The dot-com bust. All sorts of people raised, dozens of crores from VCs and hired fresh graduates, paid them shitloads of money. So it was a way of taking money from billionaires and then redistributing it. So I think it's a service, even if he continues to be politically active without winning seats, as long as he's a consultant to political parties, it's a way of getting money back into the system, and I don't see that much wrong in it. Anyway, Anand, on the surprise, and also I don't even know if in urban areas he was that big a deal. He was only a big deal on, I think, YouTube and Insta. I don't know.
Yeah, so somebody told me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but somebody told me a very great line. आप फोन बंद कर दीजिए तो प्रशांत किशोर बंद हो जाता है.
Yes, but that happens when the advertising agency thinks that it is the product itself. So, but what it would have been playing a role if the result was an NDA win, but not this landslide. My assessment was that if he could cut MGB votes, Mahagathbandhan votes, he would be absorbing a bit of anti-incumbency, which would have otherwise gone to, say, those votes would have gone to Mahagathbandhan. He would have absorbed some anti-incumbency votes, and that would have benefited NDA.
Sure.
But in the current trend, I don't think that he has even played that role. So, but we will have to look at the vote percentage that he got in different seats. So that was, but I think one of course, people know that he's a man of bombast, and sometimes comes across as a gas bag, because his campaign is more of talking down to people. That as if some say convent school cousins come to your house and you are studying in a government school, and you don't know this, you don't know this. This is transparency. This is this is that. This is dynastic politics. This is there, and talking down to people, and in a so first he but it's also a kind of opportunity for him, because the opposition space with these results would be wide open, and if he gets entrenched, so electoral politics is also a matter of entrenchment. So if he gets entrenched and stays there, he could be a challenger to Tejaswi style of politics, and Tejaswi would be on toes then, despite his demographic, say, cushion of 31% vote. So that is a role that he can, but he has made such a kind of bizarre statements that if JDU wins 25 seats, I will resign from politics. Then resign. So, so means why you are so bombastic for few?
But I think now, since he's a politician, he can
just
say this and get away with it.
No, but
now he's not a political consultant anymore, so he will say.
No, but I think that is just one thing in politics. Bombast. You show me a non-bombastic politician, and I will show you a pumpkin that is square. It is inevitable, and this talking down. People talk down in different ways. Some say I'm too well educated for you. Some say, "Arey, you city folk don't know what the rural folk want." Everybody has their own bombast. I don't think any politician, and this not resigning, if people were to resign if the prediction didn't come true, Amit Shah would have resigned about 20 times. Before every election in any state everywhere, Amit Shah says this will. So I think that is that is inevitable, because that is you have to show you can't say
he has a bit of a baggage of political consultants, so people tend to look at his predictions as okay, it's coming from somewhere. But now he's a politician, he's going to say
he has his pitch is of a politician with a difference. So so people's expectation is not of a run of a mill politician from him. It's that he carries a certain, at least his only political capital would be credibility. So I think he should have, he does that also for views, and the person who gave no interviews is at almost 200, and who gave 250 interviews is at 0. So because that is his weight in, as he said, phone, smartphones, this, that.
So Shobhana, the future of RJD, the second generation clearly hasn't turned out to be Lalu plus. They don't have the charisma of Lalu. In fact, the only memorable part of the RJD is Samdesh's interview where both the brothers were in the same mall or something. And there was a very emotional moment that the last time my father hugged me was when the light went or something like that. But
RJD's vote share, I just want to say, is 22 right now, 22.92%.
So you think they need a non-Lalu family leader to revive the RJD? Or you think these boys still have it, or this boy still has it in him?
Well, our politics will be blessed if we don't have families taking a party, I mean, from one generation to the other, controlling the party from one generation to the other. But that is not the case, and let's not look for things that we don't have in our hand. I would not write off Tejasvi Yadav. I would not write off RJD. as Manisha just pointed out, if you were to compare it with the 2020 election, his vote share has not dipped drastically. I think, if I'm not wrong, in 2020, the RJD's vote share was 23.11, and
Mm.
now I believe it is. You said, Manisha, it was 22
22
or something.
point 22.8.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a very marginal this
Yeah,
thing.
it's very
Of
marginal.
course, yeah, the seat conversion has not happened. Now, seat conversion, there can be several reasons why the vote share does not convert into seat, because of this 400-year-old first past post system that we are burdened with. It is a result of this kind of results as a result of that first past post system. RJD did make several mistakes. First of all, they took the election for granted. This was a very curious election with very short window for campaign, and even in that short window, their squabbling within the mahagathbandhan took far greater amount of time. And what actually, more than the RJD, makes me little curious is, why did they concede deputy chief minister's position to Mukesh Sahani, who is nowhere in the results?
Hmm.
See, the thing is, they always knew,
Still
and they were.
trailing, right? He's still trailing, right?
No, he didn't
he
contest.
he didn't
No,
contest.
sorry, who's the deputy chief minister? You said who's trailing when we
No,
started?
he's
Samrat
winning now. Samrat
He's
Chaudhary is
okay. He's
winning
gone
in the
ahead now.
seat
Okay,
now.
sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, wrong number. Yeah,
Tarapur.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, so VIP is not leading as far as the election commission figures are concerned.
Yeah.
VIP is not leading on any seat. And
Zero.
yet, the Mahagathbandhan arranged a press conference where they first announced Ashok Gehlot was flown in from Delhi to Patna to announce Tejasvi Yadav as their chief ministerial face. And then they also added that we'll have Mukesh Sahni as our deputy chief ministerial face, which I thought was hilarious. I mean, you don't even have results and you're distributing portfolios. It is bizarre, beyond bizarre. Now, the question is that this decision was, it came from the realization that while RJD has Muslim and Yadav, the captive vote bank, so to speak, they need that extra push to cover the last mile to the chief minister's bungalow. In the last two elections, RJD has been the single largest party, 2015 and
Hmm.
2020. So, but the issue is that this push to reach out to JDU's voters, the extremely backward class, was done in such a superficial manner. The Mahagathbandhan has 29 fielded 29 extremely backward class candidates, while NDA had 39. So you should put your money where you should have acted on your this thing properly, and you should have done something about it. And also, Mukesh Sahani, a word for Mukesh Sahani, they believe that just by projecting Mukesh Sahni as the deputy chief ministerial candidate, they will be able to swing not just the mallas, they will also it will have a domino impact on the other EBC voters, including Nishad, Bind, and a lot of other, the entire group of voters. That did not happen, and there is a reason why. See, Mukesh Sahni got around 6 lakh votes in 2020 elections. He won 4 seats in the 2020 elections because Sahnis, the Mallas, are naturally inclined towards the BJP or the NDA. And when I
Hmm.
was in Darbhanga to report or to just assess, to ask the voters on exactly what they felt about Mukesh Sahni still remains a very vague figure. He's not, people aren't familiar with him. They know him that हाँ Bollywood से कहीं से आया था. At the age of 19 he left Bihar. He worked in Bombay for several years. They claim that he worked at the sets of Bajrangi Bhaijaan and several other
Yes,
big
set
ticket
designer.
projects.
Hmm.
Yeah, as a set designer. I don't have any confirmation on that, but he's not somebody who attends the funeral or marriages or birthday celebrations of his electorate. The electorate does not know him organically. He's again, much like Prashant Kishore, a media creation, a person who people were very enamored. Especially, I would even blame the English media for projecting him so much. So you know, the so somewhere the seat conversion from vote to seat conversion did not happen because RJD did not have support of these additional. You need the chorus singers to, for the symphony. There were no chorus singers in this
Well,
case.
as far as media creation is concerned, I mean, I really don't know what that word means anymore, because the media creations could win or lose. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, when I just see some of the tweets of the journalists where the excitement and the glee of BJP victory from the predictable channels is because their livelihoods depend on BJP coming back to power. Not that they wouldn't flip if the BJP didn't come back to power, they would start sucking up to whoever did, because that's where the economics depends. Many of these guys who used to suck up to the UPA. And as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Modi is a media creation. I think Nitish, Arvind is a everyone's a media creation. I think if the media creation wins, then all's good. If the media creation loses, then it's a media creation. But managing media is the number one, priority of every politician.
It has to be one of the things, I guess. But the media creation with no ground game would be nothing.
But I mean,
guess that's what she means.
Yeah, but I think
like an app would need to be on the ground with its cadre in Delhi, while Arvind can also be everywhere in the studio. So similarly, Modi can do all the media, but RSS has to be on the ground. So
I guess you have to have a combination of the two. But as far as one thing you said, Shobhana, I just want to ask. You said that the Sani, the Kat community, has a natural affinity towards the BJP. Is there like a sociological reason, an economic reason? Or what is it? Or they've had a prominent leader from the BJP? Why is there a natural affinity? And then it'll come to Anand.
They did it. I mean, see, the Nishads were represented by Captain Jainara and Nishad, but I am not I don't know the reason. This is just an observational.
But that's just historically how it's been.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an observational, anecdotal thing. Maybe it's worth exploring, but at least when I went to Darbhanga and other parts and reached out specifically to the Sahani voters, and one of the things that I regularly do is to ask who, rather than ask who they are voting for now, this election, I ask about who they voted in the previous elections. And a majority of them had voted for the NDA. So I'm not sure about, maybe Anand would know that better.
Yes. So my point is that the Mallas are not very much aligned to BJP, but they are aligned as a part of the EBC to JDU in certain pockets. Also, like in the 90s and Lalu era, the non-Yadav OBCs and EBCs were ignored. So Nitish created this new constituency of EBC that is 36%, that includes even Muslim EBCs. Now, this man comes whose caste group population is around 2.6%, which is or 2.5 also, which is among the highest in the 112 sub-caste groups within the EBCs. So even at 2.6, he is a sizable chunk. And he has a capacity, not he, but whoever leads Mallas has a capacity to influence Kevat's bins. So even if you like RJD's strategy was to take away a bit of EBC votes, even if they could consolidate Mallas and say bins or say Kevat's, it would have been 4%, which would have given some bump to their 31% consolidated vote. But in this kind of election scenario, which of course they could not have predicted, that is also immaterial. Also, so I don't think it's a very accurate parallel, but Yadavs in Bihar though they are OBC, they are in lot of regions the dominant caste, like Jats in Haryana. So and they migrate very less. They are beneficiaries of the land reforms, the absentee landlordism, and whatever 60s and 70s Green Revolution brought to Bihar, it brought very little, but the land ceiling reorganization. So they are landlords, and these EBC caste groups, Mallas, these things, they see the Yadavs as adversary, and to the arithmetic may match, but the chemistry is not there. So arithmetic, the Malla ko bhi mila lo, isko bhi mila lo, but they are social adversaries in rural pockets, which is around 89% of
Like the
Bihar.
BSP and SP, when they came together, that's what was said, that you may come together, but on ground, you are adversaries, each
So
constituents.
there's a bunch of bipoles also happening. Taran, Punjab, AAP is ahead to the Shiromani Akali Dal. The Congress is ahead, I think, in Jubilee Hills, right? At least they were this morning. And Devyani Rana is ahead as well on the BJP. And Anta Pramod Jain of the Congress is leading. And the second is Naresh Meena, who's actually an independent. This is Rajasthan.
Neerja is going to join us in the next 5 minutes, so maybe we should go to Shobna for her
Yes,
last
Shobna,
comments.
any your last comments? What now for Bihar? The 10,000 rupee work?
And the CM candidate.
वो
has
तो
been
they can't
pitched.
change now. That will be too much of a धोखा यार. ऐसा तो जाती मत करो. हाँ.
Yeah, so see, it's a good. There are a few, of course, in the run up to the elections. Maharashtra, the example of Maharashtra was brought up multiple times in Bihar. That even if the NDA was to win, they will remove Nitish Kumar from the chief minister's seat. And I see the selection from two posters. One poster that JDU put up before the campaign started, 25 se 30, fir se Nitish. Yellow posters at the JDU headquarters in Patna. So obviously that reflected the anxiety of JDU, that it was an expression of anxiety, and also simultaneously the assertion that you need to keep this man in chair. The fact that his chair, and I believe that the fact that there was speculation about BJP sort of easing him out of the chair has contributed to the results, because that kind of made the electorate. I mean, it did contribute. I'm not saying that is the only reason, but it did contribute, because that somehow made the electorate feel, it won him sympathy votes. It brought sympathy for him as an upright leader, as a person with a personal integrity, with less taint, and a familiar face, a face that they are comfortable with. They did not see any other person replacing as an individual. So and the other thing is Ladki Behan Yojana. A lot of comparison between the Mukhyamantri scheme and the Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana and the Ladki Behan scheme. However, there is one big difference. The Ladki Behan Yojana was a monthly payout and has a greater impact on the finances of the state, while this was just a one-time payout of 10,000. And then they're saying that if you successfully invested, we'll give you 2 lakhs. But the criteria, the parameters on which this success will be assessed has not been released. So and therefore this also had an impact. By the way, this has it contributes 4% of the annual budget of Bihar, the Mukhyamantri Mahila Yojana. So I don't see
2,500 crore.
I don't see BJP easing him out immediately, but and the second poster, the second bookending poster is, which came up yesterday, Tiger Zinda Hai. I think so that kind of, between the story of Bihar election is between these two posters. So I don't think BJP will find it easy to ease him out just yet, unless and until he himself decides to hang his boots owing to his illness. And of course, then the greater question is, who will lead JDU ahead, and will JDU in its present form survive? Those are the questions worth pondering over.
All right. Thank you so much, Shobna, for your time. And
Thank you
once
so
again,
much.
we'll plug your book. Those of you who haven't already, you can click on the link below and pick up Sobhana Nair's book, The Weather Vane of Indian Politics, Ram Vilas Paswan. Clearly, his son too seems to have cracked that ability.
They are two very different beings, by the way. The father and son are very, very different people.
Yes, we shall discuss in detail another time. But thank you so much. Have a fantastic day.
All
Is
right,
Neerja
thank
with
you.
us?
So Neerja is going to join us. We'll go into a little break, a 1-minute break, and come back. And NDA is now at 201. So yes, it
But
is
this is not an
also
ad
part.
break. See, this is not an ad break. It's a reporting break because we don't take ads, right? So you can scan this QR code and pay to keep news free.
Newslaundry ad break.
Newslaundry ad break. Go ahead.
हमारे बिहार चुनाव से जुड़े एनएल सेना प्रोजेक्ट को सपोर्ट करने के लिए इस क्यूआर कोड को स्कैन कीजिए और कंट्रीब्यूट कीजिए अपनी मर्जी से,
ताकि हम बिना किसी दबाव के आप तक खबरें पहुंचा सकें
और आप कह सकें मेरे खर्च पर आजाद हैं खबरें।
एफिडेविट जो आपने दिया उसी में आपने लिखे हुए सारे केस, जिसमें मर्डर भी है, किडनैपिंग भी है, अटेम्प्टेड मर्डर है। नहीं है, फालतू है। अरे भाई साहब धक्का मत दीजिए, एक सेकंड आराम से भैया, लोग सुन रहे हैं ना यहाँ पे। आप क्यों धक्का दे रहे हो?
सड़क बहुत खराब है।
कब से?
बहुत दिन से।
बनता क्यों नहीं है?
पता नहीं काहे नहीं बनता है। 15 साल से कुछ नहीं हुआ है सड़क में, वैसे के वैसे
टूटा ही रहता है।
टूटा ही है, सब दिन ऐसे रहता है।
यहाँ दो गो दिक्कत है, समझे? एक दिक्कत है हाई स्कूल का, दूसरा दिक्कत है सरकारी हॉस्पिटल का। इलाज करवा करके बैठे हुए थे, उसी समय वो गिर गया। पंखा भी गिर गया, पंखा भी था यहाँ पर, पंखा सहित गिर गया, पैर टूट गया और बच गए लोग, भाग गए, नहीं तो और भी लोग घायल होते इसमें।
अब यहाँ से मान लीजिए 15 रुपया सर भाड़ा लग जाता है ऑटो को, जो जिसके पास पैसा नहीं पढ़ पावेगा, है संभव। एक स्कूल हो जाता है, स्कूल एक हॉस्पिटल, तो गरीब के लिए बहुत अच्छा बात होता है सर।
ट्रॉमा सेंटर में नर्सिंग स्टाफ, जीएनएम की बहुत कमी है। लेबर रूम में अभी 3 स्टाफ से 24/7 चलाते हैं। गलती से किसी को छुट्टी पे चला गया तो हम कहीं से व्यवस्था नहीं कर पाएंगे कि यहाँ पे डिलीवरी कैसे होगा। जो
टाल ये है जो रब्बी फसल का ये एक फैक्ट्री है, जिसमें कि रब्बी फसल होता है, सिर्फ रब्बी एक फसल साल में। और टाल में जल जमाव जो हो रहा है, इसका सही ढंग से निकासी पानी का नहीं हो रहा है। इतना करोड़ रुपया सरकार से आया, लेकिन वो पैसा कहाँ गया और कहाँ खर्चा हुआ, ये तो सरकार जाने, नहीं तो जिनको वो ठिका दी है।
इनको 20 साल दिया, तेजस्वी को 20 महीना दीजिए, जो 20 साल है वो 20 महीना में हम करके दिखाने का काम करें।
कहीं ना कहीं आपको लगता है कि जितना ये पूरा महागठबंधन का ठीक से अलायंस बन नहीं पाया, आपका डिप्टी सीएम का घोषणा इतना लेट किया, कई जगह आप दो लोग आपस में लड़ रहे हैं, isn't this going to hurt you?
This is what BJP says। ये चीजें बीजेपी कहती है, आम जनों में नहीं।
इस बार आप कह रहे हैं हर हाउस होल्ड को गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स देंगे, 3 करोड़ जॉब, और आप ओनली 25 लाख गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स इन बिहार, तो इतने आप कहाँ से लाएंगे?
देखिए, तेजस्वी को प्रमाण देने की जरूरत नहीं। हमने जो पहले भी कहा था नौकरियों के बारे में, उस समय भी ये सवाल पूछा गया था कि कहाँ से। हम बिना अध्ययन के, बिना एक्सपर्ट्स की राय के हम ये बातें नहीं करते।
उसका जो खर्चे का जो एस्टिमेट आ रहा है, नहीं 9 लाख करोड़ का एस्टिमेट आ रहा है तेजस्वी, जो बिहार के बजट का 3 टाइम्स है। How will you afford it?
I know how to do it. I have willpower and I have roadmap vision. I will do it. जब नहीं करेंगे तब आप सवाल पूछो।
जो बार बार ये लोग जंगल राज की बात करते हैं, आगे कहा जा रहा है कि बहुत सारे जो लोग उस वक्त से जुड़े हुए थे, who are involved in criminal and mafia, वो अभी भी आरजेडी में हैं, उनको अभी भी आप टिकट दे रहे हैं।
ये लोग पहले से ही चुनाव लड़ते हैं। शाहबुद्दीन के बेटे इज कन्विक्टेड ऑफ Is he convicted?
But he is seen as carrying forward the legacy of his late father, who was a notorious
People
mafia.
of Siwan, they want him to follow the legacy. जनता मालिक बट उनकी माँ सेकंड में इंडिपेंडेंट कितने वोट लेके आए.
दूसरा जो ये बार-बार चारा घोटाले की बात करते हैं, आप कहते हैं कि इट इज अ पॉलिटिकल एलिगेशन, बट द फैक्ट इज लालू जी वाज कन्विक्टेड इन 4 different cases by the courts.
You've been asking the same old question which people have been asking since ages to us. There's nothing new you've been asking to me.
But Modi factor,
Zero factor. Modi ji is zero.
हरियाणा जीत गए, महाराष्ट्र जीत गए तेजस्वी, बड़े स्टेट से महाराष्ट्र जीत गए,
बिहार में नहीं हुआ.
Okay, so we are back with the element of surprise, and we're not just back with the element of surprise for you, but surprise as Manisha just demonstrated. You're surprised at what, Manisha?
I'm surprised that Tejasvi is back to trailing again.
So it's going up and down.
Yeah, so
All right.
Satish Kumar is leading now with 40,000 votes and Tejasvi is at 36.
So we're back, live Hafta, special live Hafta, which is why we have to be very careful because we cannot edit out Anand's
Foul language.
Poor Anand.
If his family is watching, they'll be like,
आनंद
हमारा
कब
ये
से
side तो नहीं देखा.
इतने सुशील स्वभाव का था, हफ्ता में क्या हो जाता है इसे. But we are joined by our new panelist, veteran journalist, commentator, observer, political, what should I say, columnist, and also author par excellence, Neerja Chowdhury. Welcome, Neerja. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm always very grateful that you make time for small show like ours. So you were saying before we came out of the break that you saw Nitish with new eyes this time, although you've known him for decades. Can you explain what new eyes, what is about him that you hadn't observed earlier?
You know, we've known that after the Lalu reign, both Nitish Kumar and Lalu Yadav dominated the politics of Bihar for the last 35 years. They've ruled Bihar. Both belongs to the backward classes. Both have given new voice to the backward classes and the marginalized sections, dignity that they did not have. These were communities that were on the peripheries. Lalu Yadav to the OBCs and Nitish Kumar to the extremely backward amongst them, to the backward amongst the Dalits, and he created this new category called the Mahadalits, to the backwards amongst the Muslims, calling that the Pasmanda Muslims. So that they have both done. Lalu's rule degenerated into what is called the Jungle Raj. Kidnappings, extortions, no safety. I visited Bihar in those days when his brothers-in-law, ruled the roost. And people were terrified. I remember one instance where cars were taken off from the showroom, just picked up and people would go. People would come to a flat and say, just get out virtually. So that kind of absolute jungle raj. Nitish Kumar took over, and I remember going weeks after he'd taken over, and near Gandhi Maidan, I saw families having ice cream together at 11:30 at night. So that was the kind of change. And he told bureaucrats, and they were recalling it this time, saying, I want governance, governance, and governance. Now, he's failed in some things, he's succeeded in something. And then, of course, women have been a very important constituency of his. Right from 2005, when he took over in alliance with the BJP, he broke with Lalu. And then he formed his own party in alliance with in 2005. And then he did many flip-flops. Now, when you sit in Delhi, you look at these flip-flops in a very different way. Here's a very opportunist politician whoever makes him CM, he goes there. He's CM, he suddenly switched side, which he did in 2015. He went with Lalu Yadav. And they won the election very convincingly, 167 out of 243 seats. And then 2017, he flipped and he went to BJP again. 2022, he flipped yet again and came back to the mahagathbandhan. 2024, he again did a flip-flop and went to the BJP. And he remains with the BJP. But, as some people have pointed out, what has this led to? It has led to him keeping his relevance in a situation. He's kept his opponent the mahagathbandhan or the RJD in check. They could never have an absolute majority and yet retain the value of the Yadav family. Otherwise, those Yadavs would have gravitated to the BJP.
And this is something that you kind of, it all came together when you went and met him this time.
And he kept the BJP in check. It couldn't become a majority party on its own, which is his dream project today. It may do so in the years, because he gave very clear instructions to the bureaucrats. Any communal conflagration, and you must come down on it heavily. So if you go through Bihar today, there is no anti-Muslim sentiment in Bihar of the kind you see in Uttar Pradesh.
And they did not even make that as an issue in this election.
They have not been able to. So Nitish Kumar, he's the smaller player amongst the three, RJD, Nitish Kumar and the BJP. Any two of them join hands, they form the government.
Right. But he is indispensable. So I guess that's in a sense true for any political party, not from the two big parties. Congress still, I'm counting them.
But in his case, being the smaller partner, he's played his cards so astutely that he has managed to stay chief minister, whichever government he heads, and yet managed to keep BJP in check, its communal Hindu-Muslim agenda in check. He's managed to keep RJD in check as far as governance and things go, yet retain, as I say, the importance and relevance of the family.
Would you say that's true to an extent for Mamta and the National Conference as well? I mean, they have allied with the BJP, part of NDA, part of UPA. You think that's inevitable for anyone?
They have, on and off, they have done that. But this is a story of 20 long years.
He's been consistent in his inconsistency.
And he's managed these contradictions. A very senior Congress leader in Patna told me this time. He said, I haven't met as astute a leader as Nitish Kumar. And I also began to look at this phenomenon in a slightly different light than I had been doing, because one saw him, concentrating on women, on dignity, on governance, and he has, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's IITs, whether there's the Bihar Museum that everybody's so proud
Bihar
of.
Museum is spectacular, I believe.
It's the best museum in India.
It's the best museum in the country.
Really?
As well. Yeah.
And people say, now they are going, other states are going to Bihar to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And who did that? Do we know?
This is Anjani Kumar.
An IAS officer.
But he gave Nitish had this vision, gave him a free hand.
Okay, great. But talking safety, I mean, who was the chief minister in 2003 in Bihar? Between 2002 and 2004? Rabri. Because I remember I had gone to shoot an ad in Begusarayi. They were a very large infrastructure construction company who does refineries, power plants, pipelines. They were drilling a pipeline below, Begusarayi is near the Ganges. So they were drilling a pipeline below the riverbed. And I was to make an ad. That's the spectacular,
Barauni, that is Barauni. Indian Oil.
Of course. But the company that was doing it was an infrastructure company which was been outsourced that job. And I had to get the sunrise shot. So, and there was this, I don't know how the situation is now, but there was this one really beat up hotel, which is about 4 kilometers from the venue. And I was waiting. I woke up at 4, cameraman, we were all ready. And the car was supposed to pick us up so I can set up and get the sunrise while the drilling is happening and get that dramatic shot. And I didn't want to spend more than 1 day there. So if I miss the sunrise shot, bloody, I have to wait the next day again. So I was waiting. I said, bloody hell, time gaadi nahi aayi. So there were these patiyas with this plank at it was like this flat wooden thing, the motorcycle. So I just flagged one of them down, gave him $50, loaded all my equipment there. I said, just take us to where this drilling is happening so I can get my shot. I went there, took my shot, came back to the hotel, packed up stuff, went to Patna, took the flight, came here. When I came here, the head office called me. I was summoned that you caused a security lapse. Yeah. I was sorry. What security lapse? You took whatever, 1 crore worth of equipment, cameras used to be expensive back then. You didn't wait for the car. I was like, dude, I was losing the sun. The sunrise would have gone. Where would I get the shot? They said, 1 week ago, the project engineer was shot. I said, how about telling you that before I went to shoot the ad? He said, because you have to, pay for everything. So that's when I realized how, paranoid people are of security over there. But yeah, that was a bad time. But Anand, you have, consistently been an admirer of his politics and his ability to remain relevant. Nitish, and enough has been said about him. I wanted to pick one more prominent leader and give me a little bit about him, because we have spoken on Nitish this time and last time. Lalu's relevance, or we've spoken of PK also at length. Anyone else who is significant for a good reason or a bad reason in Bihar, who has not been given enough airtime so far?
Not given time by
in
whom?
discussions, like, PK has been discussed, Nitish has been discussed, Tejasvi to an extent. I mean, Lalu, is he someone even an aspect, or is there someone else who we think is someone who needs some attention but is not given enough?
I think Sanjay Jha, the Nitish is means right hand now.
Okay.
And there would be some power tussle with Nitish's declining health. People say that Sanjay Jha, and he would not be having the political eligibility for, say, chief, a very big role because of the caste group he comes from. But the tactical part, the strategic part, he does. And Lalan Singh. Now, in Bihar, there is a lot of talk about these two being the front runners of backroom management of Nitish's party now. And there is talk of some tension between them, because one of Nitish's achievement is that he has not been dynastic, and he has not promoted any of his family members. So and that also stood in contrast when you had this image of when this vote chori rally was happening. Tejasvi, Dynast, Rahul Gandhi and Stalin, they were there, and they were supposedly taking on Nitish, who the party pitched that he is someone who has not promoted, and all these three are descendants of one political dynasty or other. So anyway, so I think Sanjay Jha and Lalan Singh would be some two figures to watch out for, not for their say very prominent role in positions of office, but backroom dealing. Nitish's governance style is very bureaucratic. He is not a, say, flamboyant orator or this. He is very organizational, and as I said earlier, he is a kind of leader who knows how to divide time between administration, details, and real politics.
And both the leaders you mentioned, do they have enough of a sway over their party cadre that?
And that is the tussle. That is the tussle. Also, they don't come from caste groups, which is Nitish's stronghold, like the EBC, and so they don't come from that. But Nitish has been dependent on them for quite some time now, and but Nitish also works through his hand-picked bureaucrats, and there is a lot of talk in Patna about 2-3 bureaucrats who are running the state for last 4-5 years, and
but somehow that doesn't come to impact him negatively like it did Naveen Babu. But how about you, Neerja, and then we'll get to Manisha. And Manisha, then you please take this discussion forward because you have more experience on elections. I just have experience in telling jokes. But who else are the politicians in Bihar who one should look at a little more seriously than just, let's say, Nitish? And like we've said that PK got way more airtime than the vote share kind of justifies.
You see, this is a tribute election to Nitish. People of Bihar expressing as they themselves.
We were just saying, Neerja, before you came, people have been saying this about Ronaldo and Messi for the last 2, but they are still, it seems they don't want to go. So we don't know yet.
But generally, that was the ground level voices, you know, whether it was women and others feeling, yes, बूढ़े हो गए हैं, बीमार हैं, पर जो किया है, कुछ नहीं किया, जो किया है बिहार के लिए किया, अपने परिवार के लिए नहीं किया. Many people would say that, and I think that was the dominant kind of thing. But one didn't expect this kind of a sweep.
Right.
I'm stunned by it.
By the two.
I mean, I've not seen this kind of a pro-incumbency wave at all in India, despite after 20 years of rule. It's unprecedented.
Yes.
You've had Naveen Babu, but I don't think he ever had this kind of a wave. You've had
They
Buddhadev
do better in the
Bhattacharya,
previous
Jyoti
election.
Basu. Yes, they stayed in power for a very long time, but not
So why do you
this
think
kind of
that
a
is?
wave.
And how do you explain BJP's 90? Like, okay, so Nitish, there's this sentimental thing of, you know, he's done well and we want, like you said, it's a send-off, it's emotional, it's a sentimental kind of a, but BJP 90 up from 73 last time, how much were they?
Yeah,
74. 74. Because a lot of reporters, at least, who were coming in were saying that there is some dissatisfaction with the BJP. They aren't really happy with the kind of work the MLAs have done. But
Well, I mean,
clearly
if you-
here it's 90
if
means
you,
that
if
they've
you
also
ask
done.
me, of course, everyone's very coy to say this because it is not considered. I mean, every election is not a level playing field. I think whether it's money power, and we know in India it's fought by money power. Mamdani is not possible here. So that is a big impact in any election in Delhi. I believe BJP would nowhere have won Delhi unless they had the kind of money they did. I think,
And they didn't go big with Modi's phase,
yeah,
did
but I
they?
think a lack
I don't
of
think he
level
was-
playing field has a lot to do with BJP's victories across the country. And, you know, people are shy to say, oh, it's Shah grapes. It is not that. You know, you have to be a complete moron not to think that a lack of level playing field is a huge plus for the BJP. In a level playing field, I highly suspect that they would get anywhere close to the numbers that they get right now. Other than that, there may be other reasons, but that is a significant reason in my view.
I think there's two other factors. You know, Nitish Kumar is a generic term. When I went to villages and asked who are they voting for, Nitish Kumar. These were Musahar women who were at the bottom of the Dalit heap. And who was the candidate in their constituency? He belonged to Ramvilas Paswan's party. Similarly, even if there was a Ham candidate of Jitin Manjhi's party, or there was even a BJP candidate, Nitish Kumar was there for them, you know, like he represented it. Secondly, this alliance of the NDA has been very effective this time. They worked well. Unlike the mahagathbandhan, which started off late, which had differences between Rahul Gandhi and Tejasvi Yadav, and they left it very late to sort them out and to declare Tejasvi Yadav as a chief ministerial face. Here, you know, last time Chirag Paswan was outside the alliance. He fought Nitish Kumar and he destroyed him and damaged him in 28 constituencies in 2020. He didn't hurt the BJP. And Nitish Kumar was very unhappy with this, you know, that he targeted him. He himself won only one seat, Chirag Paswan.
But he damaged Nitish.
But he damaged.
So, I mean,
and now
for
he's back in.
BJP to get them to work together is also...
So now for him to be there and that Dalit vote to get consolidated, you have the Paswan community, which is not part of the Mahadalits. You have the Musahar community, the Majis, and you have others, Pasis, Dobi, or different kinds of communities. Maybe even Ravidas, a section of them, though some of them are looking at the Mahagathbandhan. But that has got consolidated, the Dalit, apart from the EBC. And Nitish Kumar went to the homes of two politicians at the time of Chhat. Chirag Paswan was one of them. And they've obviously helped each other in this election. Chirag Paswan, if you say who in Bihar to look for, I would say Chirag Paswan. He is the real star of this election.
And with the alliance also, like in every election, we see the NDA comes together. And India Alliance, I think, and maybe Raman should come in because he's been quite quiet. But India Alliance, there's this always friendly fight. There's always this, till the last minute, there's an unease in terms of seat sharing, deputy CM. And that seems to be playing out. So in terms of...
For me as an outsider, the biggest takeaway, the state where the fault lines are so deep, I mean, the caste is so important. I think Nitish's ability to identify women as the largest minority in a way, largest marginalized community, that is something very great, and he nurtured it so well since 2005. He came up with the bicycle idea, then he came up with latest is 10,000 rupees, in giving to 1.47 crore women. So I think this has played a bigger role, and especially in this election also, I think 71% of the women had cast their votes. So I think this is the biggest takeaway for me.
And 9% more than male. That's
Yes.
happened for the first time.
Those figures are like this. So in absolute numbers, that is 4 lakh voters more, because before this election, women voters were 5% less. So first they came even with the male, and in absolute numbers, 2.47 crore male voters voted and 2.51 crore women voters voted. So in absolute numbers, this increase is of 4 lakh voters, which is substantial. But they have say first got even with the male and then 4% more. So then this is the configuration. To add to some of the points, see, first is there is I would not go very back in history, but one thing is important, that many people start the social justice movement and this backward caste political empowerment movement from 90s, but actually it was the incomplete work of 70s of Karpuri Thakur, and Lalu say reaped dividends of it with a consolidation of the Yadav OBCs and Muslim consolidation, and Nitish, I am repeating it, I think third time or fourth, but EBC creation and this. So you can say that to oversimplify it a bit, that Lalu's role was that of an enabler, but Nitish's political capital is of a provider. So his administrative imagination, as Raman sir was pointing out, that women vote, people see doles, this, but he has a very systematic architecture for it. And some of that turned out to be ordinary women who turned out to be his campaigners. Jivika Didis, this is a help group network of 11 lakh self-help groups, 11 lakh self-help groups across Bihar, which involves around 2 crore women. And they are non-political campaigners for him, a kind of. And second thing here is, what people miss out, some of his things have been copied by UPA, copied by NDA. People, since he is in Patna, his imprint on national policy making is underrated. First, direct cash transfer. He did it for bicycles much before UPA got that.
And you had mentioned that also, so that he can insulate himself from accusation he contract galat de diya.
Second, this the Modi government Har Ghar Nal Yojana, the water pipelines. He has implemented it many years ago. It was then there are many other schemes like
liquor ban.
Liquor ban, but
nobody else has done.
Yes,
but Nitish,
I forgot.
Women took it very positively.
Women architecture, yes, that is one of the points. It may be very unpopular with men, but it is popular with women still with all its failures. So you were forgetting two more things. One is 50% reservation for women in panchayats. He was the pioneer. Then 35%, and this is the most crucial imprint, 35%, it became very aspirational for women students there, and it still is. Suppose 100 students are appearing for government exams and 35% women are guaranteed that you have a quota. He has 35% women quota for government jobs.
Right.
And I said in a state, not in middle class particularly, say across India, where the typical idea is of mother pious lady and father government servant. Now he made that mother government servant and the father may be a house husband. So
who doesn't have access to alcohol? How about that?
And also 35% reservation for women in the police force.
Right.
I must tell you this, in the last couple of years, wherever I've traveled, rural areas, particularly when I go and meet with young women, I do ask them the question, what do you want to become? If given half a chance, 7 out of 10 will tell you, I want to join the police force. Because it means autonomy, it means danda, it means authority, it means power, freedom. That's what they're aspiring to. So he got the pulse early on when he reserved it for women.
So, Neerja, I know you have even 10 minutes, I've just been told by a producer. But other than the obvious things that we have discussed on Nitish's Doordarshita on policy, on politics, the caste equation, can the BJP post Nitish be the single largest party of former government, you think, in Bihar? Does it have that legacy? Does it have leaders who can create that caste equation, which what I've understood from all the experts I've heard is integral? And of course, personal charisma is inevitable in any election today. Do you see that happening with the BJP?
The minus point of Nitish Kumar also is that he does not have a second line of leadership. There is Sanjay Jha, there's Lalan Singh. Lalan Singh is now in the Union Cabinet and so on. And nor has he named a successor. At one time, he considered Prashant Kishore. He named him also, indicated this also. And I think had Prashant Kishore not fallen out with Nitish Kumar when he did.
Why did he?
Well, he said he did it on the NRC and CAA. He promised that he would not, but let's not go into that. The story might have been different is the point I'm making today. But just one point on women I want to make. Nitish Kumar has given this to women, 10,000 rupees in every eligible family will get this, and the number of amounts transferred is to 1.45, 1 crore 45 lakh women. And certain amount needs to be transferred, 8 lakhs or something needs to be done. I'm told their Aadhaar card have to be aligned to their bank account, but that's a detail. Now, in Maharashtra, when I was there, in Madhya Pradesh, the Ladli Bahan Yojana, which gave 1,000 rupees per month, Ladki Bahan Yojana, which gave 1,500 rupees per month to women. I heard voices in Maharashtra from Dalit women, OBC women saying, we don't care how our men folk are going to vote, we are going to vote for Eknath Shinde because he's given this in our hand, this is what we've done, it's augmented our income, it's helped our children, etc. Now here I heard the caste that normally vote for Nitish Kumar, which is the Kurmi, Koiri, the extremely backward, the Mahadalits, their women saying we are voting for Nitish Kumar. As for Yadav Muslim, which is the constituency of Tejasvi Yadav and the Mahagathbandhan, when I spoke to them, and now this is very random, you go there for 6-7 days, you sniff the air, you cannot say, it is random. But I didn't hear, the Yadav women said this. In fact, one of them put it very beautifully. She said, Nitish Kumar ne bahut sundar kaam kiya hai. Sundar is the word she used. But vote hum apne tole ke saath denge. We will vote according to the way our group goes, and that's the way the Yadavs will go. So I didn't hear the notes being struck by these women, Yadav women, the way I heard in Maharashtra, that come what may, whatever the caste.
Caste still precedes gender in that.
Therefore, this kind of a sweep that you're seeing
is a surprise to you.
Is everything else I can explain. The castes have done well. It's a Shraddha election, last election, that people are emotional, wo sab hai. But that Yadavs and Muslims have split in order to vote for Nitish Kumar, I don't know. I'm a bit, I find this hard to.
And is there any way to ascertain if that's happened and how it's happened? Or
We don't know.
That,
We
that,
will
that,
assure in the
that kind of granular data is not even.
RJD's vote share is at 22, more than BJP's. BJP is at 20.97, RJD is 22.7.
But I'll just come to you, Anand. I know Neerja has to go. I've been told by my producer. But Neerja, before you go, just a recommendation for our viewers and listeners. Anything, any book you've read, film you've seen, article you've read.
I haven't had a chance to read a book,
So then let's just recommend your book on Prime Ministers. The link is
I tell you what recommendation, what struck me very deeply this time when I went to Bihar, and I went to a village where I'd gone 46 years ago. It's a Musahar dominated village near Bodh Gaya, and I met with the women. And they were so politically conscious. But when I asked them, "Aap log padhe likhe ho," and the children, girls were also going to the school, primary school, middle school was there. And have you studied yourself? They had not. These women would be in their 30s and 40s. And I was shocked to find 2011 census put the education literacy, female literacy rate of Musahar women at 1.5%. 1.5% in the India of today. It probably has gone up a little bit since then. Whereas the Bihar average is 51%, the national average is 65%.
Wow.
So while parties are now going to this model, Abhinandan, is going to be followed by every incumbent chief minister. Women as a constituency to cater to give them money in their hands. But
then again, there has to be consistency in them allowing this kind of transfer before an election, because in one state it's allowed, in another state it's not allowed.
But while it gives them chances for augmenting their income, and that's a very powerful tool because their families will see them differently. But what about giving them the education, which opens the doors and the windows for them? They can take off. So it hit me very hard. 45 saal ke baad,
1%.
A lot of things have happened, but you need to go far. You need to look at women differently, not as recipients of doles.
So please make a note of it, all you men, ruining that, you don't have alcohol shops to go to in Bihar. The bigger things to aspire towards. But thank you so much, Neerja. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Neerja.
Please have a great weekend. And
I'll give a quick data run before we finish. Now,
after that,
we'll come back.
No, I want Anand to give us some closing thoughts. But yes, Neerja, you can carry on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
While I again urge our audience, scan this QR code, pay to keep news free. And I just noticed on YouTube, there's just friendly advice I'm giving to many of you. I was watching.
We're going to cut this part and put it out.
We're
obviously going to trash all the guys who come to say.
There are a lot of people who in the comments say, "Are ro re ho or ro vi." See, you very accomplished people who have all the time in the world to go on YouTube and saying you are crying. See, I'm 51 years old. I became a reporter at the age of 20. Lots of parties have come and gone. It has made jhand difference to my life. I may have to fight an extra case, may be questioned, but you are demeaning your dignity to an extent that this is what you do. Your thrill is if someone is feeling bad or good, which you imagine. Trust me, unless your money comes from government ads, it doesn't make any difference to most of us. Who comes to power, who doesn't, other than you have political preference. It does not impact your day-to-day life. And I understand I speak from privilege, but do not make such a small portly of your self-respect that this is what you live for. I just thought I'd go into the comments and someone has questions for Neerja, someone has questions for Anand. And all I say, or guys, you've got to understand it doesn't make jhand of a difference to most people. So, unless your salary comes from the ads of that, which our QR code ensures it doesn't. So those of you who are interested can continue to heap abuse, because then we know just how much time you have and how employed you are in life. And those of you who think journalism should be funded by public funds, you can scan this QR code. But please go ahead, Anand, and tell us. I think on the women issue, you were saying something.
NDA is at 201.
Yeah, sorry. Before that, give us the latest data, then we'll go on.
NDA at 201, MGB at 36, and Tejasvi is trailing now properly. He's behind 4,000 votes in Raghupur constituency. BJP is 90, JDU at 82, RJD is at 28 out of the 143 seats they contested, and INC is leading in 5 seats out of the 61 they contested, and VIP 12.
So Tejasvi is definitely going to stay behind.
I think so, yeah, because now it's 4,000. So,
right, yeah, Anand.
No, see, one of the wrong inferences from demographic figures is what Neerja was saying, that yes, women among consolidated political groups like Yadavs go along with caste voting, but some men within Yadavs also don't vote RJD, around 10 to 15%, and women a little more, 20 to 25% for different reasons, not because they like the other party, but also because other parties also sometimes put Yadav candidates, or put Muslim, or put Muslim, like JDU has put 4 Muslim candidates. They put also Yadav candidates. So some kinship networks like may get some Yadav votes from non-RJD parties also. Also, there is other factor that I pointed out in the beginning only, that this regional pattern of these caste groups, like Yadavs in which constituency, means now people who go to Bihar or for any state, they take come and take away the big narratives for national politics or in understanding even the state politics, but they don't have constituency wise knowledge. That there are 243 constituencies, and sometimes the social formations are very local and very local issues, so they don't know even name of all constituencies, so they take the big takeaways, big narratives, but like
so at a local level they may be very
like
huge.
For example, RJD put up some say not it's truth also, a Kushwaha candidate from a constituency. Now and there are credible reports that I have from that locality that Yadavs in 4 or 5 big groups conducted a meeting and said that if this time this Kushwaha gets the ticket and he does well, RJD will repeat Kushwaha's from this seat, and Yadavs will not get this ticket.
So they'll incentivize.
So we have not to only not vote, but vote the other party so he gets defeated. So sometimes this tactical voting also happens within caste groups.
So it's also to incentivize the repeat of the same caste.
Yes.
All right. So Manisha, you have any closing remarks before we get recommendations for the week?
Yeah, just one thing, that 2024 Lok Sabha elections were a pretty straight kind of what we got. I mean, surely what we got out of it was that people wanted a strong opposition in the country. If nothing else, it was a vote for a strong opposition and a check on BJP and its powers. After that, big state elections like Maharashtra, Haryana, and now Bihar have all gone the NDA way. I think there is something there. The opposition has to think of itself as an India alliance, has to come together as an alliance of not just opposing Modi before Lok Sabha. If you are together, then I think, like Neerja was saying, that you have to think of what happened in these 3 state elections where the alliance couldn't really come together. In fact, so many friendly fights have actually damaged them in Bihar too. I was reading a couple of constituencies. There seems to be bickering on seat sharing. There's always, now I don't know the reality of what really happened in Bihar, but there were these murmurs of one Congress party faction kind of upset with seat allocation. Tejasvi not going out a bit, with Rahul not coming, Priyanka not coming. In fact, Priyanka Gandhi didn't at all canvass. She came for last 2 days, right? But through the election, you didn't really see that kind of strength that Congress could put in the central leadership. So if you are an alliance, and clearly the alliance in Lok Sabha, at least the message was that we do need you guys. It wasn't a complete like 400 par the way BJP was saying. So the country was saying that we need a strong opposition in place. The opposition has to get back to being a strong opposition, I think. Come together for these state elections, have a strategy, have a common minimum program. So all of that seems just not there.
So, I don't like anecdotes
Hmm.
because anyway, means anecdotes are. I think for someone who is from this, suppose you are from a colony or this, you don't have much interest in anecdotes. The anecdotes are for outsiders. But on the Congress point, I am just guilty of the same sin. I am giving you an anecdote, and an RJT means a person who is in at local levels a kind of a strategist. He said that the enigma for the Mahagathbandhan is that what Congress brings to the table. So, so because upper caste votes it had before 90s, it has gone to say BJP, and BJP also had some hold in Dalit and EBC votes, and Nitish has in an umbrella kind of votes, and RJD already has Muslim and Yadav vote strongholds.
And the money that is there with the Congress leaders don't share with the party.
So Congress, and in fact he was very critical that this election we could have made very local and very specific to constituencies and 3-4 state issues. Now Rahul Gandhi comes and says vote chori. So we lost the local momentum, and Tejasvi lost the local momentum.
The strategy is not consolidated.
And right before the elections, if you say that yehi kal hone wala hai Bihar mein, Rahul Gandhi leads with that, you're already kind of telling your cadre that you don't need to really get out the messages that theek hai yaar, it's rigged.
Right. With that, we'll get the recommendations for the week. You want to go first, Manisha?
No, I'll just pull it out.
Raman, sir, you want to go first? Should I go first?
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
2 recommendations. One is Manu Joseph's column this week. Can beneficiaries of inequality be the ones who end it? He spoke about Mamdani, who is one of the beneficiary of this inequality, whether he would be able to end it or not.
Okay.
So I think it was his take, whether you agree or not, but nicely contested. And the second is there is a 6-episode documentary on Vantara, which has come on Jio Hotstar. I think it is the we can say Ambani's version of what they are doing with these animals. I found it very impressive. I think it is even people do not get treated the way these animals are getting treated in that hospital.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, only thing which I'm not very sure whether how do they rehabilitate these. I'm impressed. I'm highly impressed with whatever they are doing. But how do they rehabilitate? After treating these people, and if they are commercially using them at all. Once they die,
well,
we are not aware.
You will never get that on Geo for sure.
So these are the 2 unanswered questions.
There are dozens of unanswered questions, but anyway, these are the 2 that may emerge from this series.
Right.
Yes, Anand.
Since the discussion was around to Bihar, so one book I am recommending is by Jeffrey Wood. So it's not a very good book in all aspects of that term, but a good book on certain aspects. It has limitations that visiting academics or journalists have when they write about an area to which they are a visitor. So, but it's a book on Bihar. It's called State Development and Democracy. It came out in 2003 at the cusp of this transition from. It came in 2005. This transition from Lalu era to Nitish era, and he stayed in the state for. He's an anthropologist of Columbia University, and he stayed in Bihar for around a year or so. He gets a lot of things wrong, but the rigor that he has applied to some aspects of analysis, that could be a good way to look at the state from an outsider point of view. not for insiders. Insiders will criticize the book. Second is a book that I have always recommended, a very slim book, Republic of Bihar by Arvind Narayan Das. It has again the limitation of an ideological framework, but the sheer information that he has packed in 120 pages is something that should be
worthy of your time.
Absorbed, yes, worthy of time. Yes.
Manisha?
So, Peace in Equator, inside BBC's Gaza fiasco. I'm watching a really fun Amazon series. No, it's an Apple TV, Pluribus, which is basically a science fiction series where the world has been infected by a hive mind, a permanently happy hive mind. So all of humanity is happy, and there are like 6 people immune. It's a story of one of the writers who's immune to being happy. So
as writers,
it's really fun.
So I have 3 opinion pieces, all 3 from Indian Express. For different reasons, I'm recommending them. Last week was Guru Tegh Bahadur's death anniversary, Martyrdom Day. This is a piece written by Manjeev Singh Puri. What I like about it is, Guru Tegh Bahadur is one of my heroes, just like Guru Gobind Singh is.
Guru Gobind Singh was born in Patna.
Yes, I know. He was Bihari. Yes, says Anand with flex. Guru Gobind Singh is actually Bihari. So is Gautam Buddha. So is the 3 great men, all 3.
Ashok
Chanakya, all from Bihar. So
Aryabhat.
और बोलो
Lot of
बाकी तुम सब side हटो. Okay, so I love this piece because it's written about how he martyred himself, sacrificed himself, standing up for another religion. And it's called In Good Faith, a martyr for human rights. Guru Tegh Bahadur's teachings continue to speak to us. I think it's a really nice piece, and it's also a very nice piece because it was a Mughal emperor who killed him, and he was defending Hindus. But it does not demonize Muslims, right? Whereas if any of these chomus who would probably be sitting in studios right now were to say the same thing, they would do a disservice to Guru Tegh Bahadur, to what he actually fought for, by using this to demonize a community. So it's a lovely piece. Do read it, and do read about Guru Tegh Bahadur if you get the time. The second is by Kuldeep Singh. Our security agencies deserve credit for thwarting a larger plot behind Red Fort blast. This is what I was saying in the beginning. The first time I've seen a terrorist attack. The conversation after that saying what a wonderful thing our security agencies is, rather than saying where was the failure. To be celebrated as some sort of success. It is the first in my view, and this op-ed is something that indicates that. And the third is Pratap Bhanu Mehta's piece, in Delhi and beyond, toxic air is sustained by toxic politics. You're dying every day, so your children, those of you who want to make your children sports persons who are in NCR or Delhi or North India, good luck. Their lungs are seriously compromised, and I hope you enjoy jumping out outside, celebrating the politics of today, while your children slowly poison themselves to death by breathing poison in the air. But बाकी सब ठीक है, enjoy करो. आपकी तो life useless रहेगी और 10-15 साल होंगे आपके पास, लेकिन आपने ये इंश्योर कर दिया कि अगली जनरेशन की लाइफ भी भद्दी रहे आपकी तरह. Congratulations on that. On that positive.
On that grim note, wow, your rant is more like painful than my rants usually on this.
Yeah, it really is. I'd like to thank our wonderful producer Priyali. On the floor we have Naresh, we have our sound recordist, I'm guessing Anil, Ashish was here somewhere. And I guess there are other people who have made sure that this live goes hitch-free. And thank you to the trolls who made sure there was enough Ronak on our YouTube page. And those of you who haven't yet subscribed, do subscribe. Here's a QR code. Because this is live, we will not have a song recommendation. So let's sing a Bihari song, Anand. Lead, I'll follow.
No, not lead. Means there is it's in the political campaign. There is a sohar which is generally sung in Eastern UP and Bihar, Purvanchal.
Sohar.
Sohar is sung when a new child takes birth.
Okay.
So they, the JD worked, and this Jivika Didis, the Nitish's this network of self-help groups. So they reinvented a popular show in Nitish's name. So it's I will give it. It's a Jug Jug Jio Nitish. So it's a popular sohar, but with a political campaign tone.
Okay, the only song that springs to mind of a child being born in that I can think of is song, I think, Kabhi Kabhi मेरे घर आई एक नन्ही परी चांदनी के हसीन रथ पे सवार मेरे घर आई. Okay, thank you. Have a great weekend. And congratulations to all the winners and to all the losers. Al, do better next time.
Democracy has won. You should marry the cliche. But in the end, people have won. Democracy has won.
In the end, people have won.
But we should not recommend that song because that's a campaign song and it's a political.
So we can
tone.
recommend the actual song.
Actual
the
song,
original one.
Original sohar which is sung in Bihar.
So in the podcast version of this, the original sohar will be there. So you can, if you're curious about it, do check it out over there. Bye-bye.
Bye.
हमारे बिहार चुनाव से जुड़े एनएल सेना प्रोजेक्ट को सपोर्ट करने के लिए इस क्यूआर कोड को स्कैन कीजिए और कंट्रीब्यूट कीजिए अपनी मर्जी से,
ताकि हम बिना किसी दबाव के आप तक खबरें पहुंचा सकें
और आप कह सकें मेरे खर्च पर आजाद है खबरें.